Hello and welcome to LevelUP. This is our Python series where Angus is going to teach you the basics of coding in Python. Enjoy!
Alright, welcome back. So before we can get on to our final project as such, I want to show you one last thing. I hinted about it in the last video, but we want to be able to perform math operations in our code. So if you've ever used Scratch before, you might have known you might be able to add numbers together or take them away or whatnot. We can do the exact same in Python. We can add, we can divide, we can take away, we can multiply, and there's a whole load more of more complicated operators that if you do go on and start learning more Python, that you'll probably come across them. But we're going to go over those four basic ones just now. So I'm just going to create, let's say, our number. We'll just create an arbitrary number of 20, and then we'll just print this out just so we can, no, not print that, we'll type out our variable just so we can see that. See, we get 20 outputted to the console on the right here. And now in here, what we can do, yeah, we'll do it here. Okay, so if we want to add numbers, we can use the add symbol and just add another number. We'll add 20 again to that, and we say 40 is displayed out to the screen. Quite straightforward. So what we've said here is we've said number equals 20 plus 20, and then we print that out and it's 40. We can also do this to variables. So if I'm going to remove that, so we have number equals 20, and if I say number 2 as our second variable, we can call this 5, and then we can create our final number could equal number, and then we're going to use that plus symbol that we just seen there. We'll use plus and number 2, and then we'll output that final number here. We can see repl.it gave us that nice autocomplete there for us. So if we hit run, we can see that the number 20 is added to the number 5 here, and then we display it. We see 25 is added. We can also take away, just like you've used in maths. You can use the minus symbol here, and just as add, you can see 20 was taken, 5 was taken away from 20, and we get 15. Well, that's pretty straightforward. Now let's look at addition, not addition, sorry, multiplication and division. So if we want to multiply two numbers together, we can use the star, which if you hold down Shift and the 8 on your keyboard, sorry, you'll get that that operator there. And if we run that again, we can see 100's displayed. And finally, we can use we can divide numbers by using the /, and we're going to say number 1 divided by number 2, which is 20 divided by 5, and you can see we get 4 output to display. What we can also do is this, when we divide numbers, it returns what's called a float, which in our case, we don't really want that right now. So we can remember in the last time to convert it to an integer, a whole number, we can use the int function, which basically just converts whatever we return from this operation here to an int. And we can see that decimal place disappears there and we have 4. Excellent. There we go. I know that might have been a bit dull, this lesson, relative to other ones that we've done, but this is really fundamental. If you can get your head around all of these operations, so add, minus, times, and divide, you're doing excellent. That's amazing. So if you want to just have an out right now, have a go and practice some of this. Create some variables of any numbers you want, and then perform some operations to them and display them out to the screen. And if you're feeling really confident, why not have a go asking the user to input two numbers, perform some operation on them, let's say add them or multiply them together, and then display them out to the screen. And remember, when you're getting input from the user, we need to convert that to an integer so we can perform operations on them. Alright, so if you have to go at that, and I'll show you how to do that final challenge once we come back. So pause the video here and give that a shot. Alright, so I hope that went well for you. I hope you got a chance to practice some of those. So we're going to go with that final challenge I set for you. We're going to try get two numbers from the user, and then we're going to add them together. Alright, so I'm going to create first the variable number 1 as our first number that we're going to get. If you remember, we're going to get an input, we use input, 2 brackets, and then the message we want the user to see, and we'll say please enter the first number. We'll run that, just make sure it's working. Let's take its time here. There we go. Please enter your first number, 1, and the program ends. Yep, perfect. And we'll do the same for number 2. We'll create the variable number 2, equal symbol to say we're going to give it the value of whatever our input returns. We're going to say please enter the second number. And then we'll run that again. Number 1, and enter your second number. There we see that's output number 2. Excellent. So if you remember before, this function returns a string, returns text to us, but we want to perform math operations on this, and well, we can't add words together, we need to convert that to a number. So if you remember, we just wrap this in int, we use the open bracket here, go to the end of the line and close bracket, and just say whatever's returned from this function, we want to convert it to an integer. And we'll do the same for the bottom function here as well. There we go. Now we can calculate our total. We were going to add these numbers together, so we can say the result. We'll just call our variable result, and we'll use the equal sign to say we're going to the value number 1, and we'll add that to number 2. There we go. And we'll run this quickly here. Into the first number, we'll add 10. And the second number can be 20. We see the program ends, and we get no errors. Now that's a good thing, which means that all of our data types have been corrected correctly. All of these are integers, and that's nice. And then finally, to display this to the screen, we're going to type print, and we can type a nice message saying the answer is, and remember we're going to use, to combine two strings together, we're going to use the plus symbol here. Now I know that gets confusing because we've got plus here for adding and then a plus here for combining, but this is one of those things that we've got to be very precise about our data types because one symbol can do two things. So if you remember, this variable result is an integer because we've added these numbers together, and to display it we need it to be a string, we need it to be text. So we're going to type in str, and we'll just use 2 brackets here, and then inside that bracket, result. So we're going to take this result, which is an integer, and we're going to convert it to our string. So if we hit run here, we're going to type in the first number 10, second number 20, and can we see the answer is 30, which is what we expected. So really well done if you managed to do this on your own, but if you didn't, that's no worries at all. Well done for getting this far. We've learned a lot up until this point, so just have a wee shot on your own, practice some of it, and then in the next episodes or tutorial even, I'm going to set a bit of a final challenge to consolidate what we've learned here into one fun final project.
That's it for this video. Check out our channels for some more tutorials from Angus on Python. Join us next time. Bye.